shiver me timbers and sliver me heels. I can't even smell the sea air over this rot. Plenty of fish in the sea, but I've got the foulest of the lot on my racks. I can't even smell the sea air over this rot. I can't even smell the sea air over this rot.
Not even worth the rummaging. Good luck with these Sicilians, Source Hunter.
I'm warm as
Good
fresh
luck
apple
out there,
pie.
Hunter. Evil lurks beyond Saiseal's ramparts.
The sun is out, and yet I feel a cold inside my soul. The bane of age, the crux of years.
Tell me, Alistair, have you ever had the fortune of challenging the fabled wizard of Hunter's End?
The sun is out, and yet I feel a cold inside my soul.
Privy to ancient and
Bane of age,
the likes of which I
years.
doubt even having cold friends.
Here lies Kimberly, finally.
You there! A moment of your indulgence, if you please. You are the source hunter, are you not? No, scratch that. It is so much more than a delight. Mendius, at your service. What is my profession? Well, I'll tell you what it used to be, and that is a man of medicine. But what does a man of medicine do but mend what has first been? They call the undead a problem, my friend, but those who know the ways of the fabulous five see no problems. They see opportunities. An enterprising spirit can... Oh, it's not merely an opportunity. It is a once-in-a-lifetime...
Of course I do. How could someone in my profession not?
Quite right. Adventure is what we live for.
See here. You and I share the same passion. I never doubted it for a moment. The thrill of walking. Too bad your line of work comes with such measly recompense. Am I right? The wage of a mere soldier.
Well, I can't say that I haven't.
Yes, some extra...
Indeed. Indeed, gold is always welcome. Even so, my friend, matters of a pecuniary nature aside, what is life without variety, without spice? To be a source hunter must get frightfully dreary sometimes. Am I right? All those
There is no shame in following directives if your masters are worthy of your trust.
True enough. We serve a...
Come now. I refuse to believe such a uniquely skilled individual would settle for a puppet's role. Life's too short to spend it doing... And that is exactly why I am here. Why fate has put me right by the door to the King Crab, so that I could meet you and tell you about... the fabulous five. How I enjoy simply saying the words that describe the most illustrious. You'd like nothing more than to enlist, wouldn't you? Of course you would. And you can. Of course. What a gem of a question. Straight as an arrow. Now then, to join the Fabulous Five is to join a fellowship, to join a fraternity, a sorority, a community. The title of Of course, should you spread the word, should you propagate the gospel of the Fabulous Five and thereby draw new... By now, the genial glow of the fellowship must have warmed your heart. Work hard. Fulfill contracts.
Aaron has as many friends as the man with many cheeses.
Let us see if you can choose the finest green. Thanks to Seven, we've secured the perimeter.
Your return marks of victory, Hunter. We'll vanquish our foes yet.
Now, I pulled her off you before she could do any real damage.
What have we here, then? A so-called source hunter, eh? Well, look, do what you must in Sicil, but don't make waves and don't interfere with the Legion's affairs. You hear? I'm Captain Aureus, if you must know, leader of the Legion in Sicil. By which I mean I have the enviable task of commanding a battalion of walking dead. For I fear it may well be but a matter of time before the undead undo all my soldiers. Gods above! Some politician snuffs it and everyone's in an uproar. Ridiculous! I told that wizard brat of an Ahu not to bother. But he just had to send for source hunters, didn't he? Bloody Nevertheless, I want to be kept in the loop. Understand? I am in command of this town, not Mayor Cecil, not Ahu, and definitely not some hotshot source hunt. The scene of the crime is over at the King Crab Inn. You can tell the guard you have my permission to enter. Now off with you! Esmeralda is Jake's wife. Well, widow. Everyone in town, down to the crabs on the beach, is convinced she killed him. Now, the girl has the reputation of being a flirt. There is that. But that doesn't suffice as evidence, wouldn't you say? Or do source hunters rely on hearsay? What? You're going to stand there and claim with a straight face your order never wrongly tortured and executed anyone? Hardly. But I won't stand for such nonsense. If you bring evidence before me, I'll evaluate... if you must. Bravo! Figured that one out, did you? I haven't been stuck here for 2 years because we're being besieged by fluffy kittens, you know. Those brain-feasting freaks out there keep on coming. And it takes all the sword arms and all of Ahu's half-baked contraptions to keep them at bay. Keeping them... How am I enjoying it? Are you spoiling for a fight, Hunter? Are you? Sightseal stinks of fish, reeks of orcs, and on a... We are the pride of Riverlon. To be found and to be seen everywhere. We don't hide in the dark and lurk in corners like some I could mention. I'd say they're looking for weak spots in our defenses. They can't make an attack over land for fear of Ahu's magical machines, so they're trying their luck by sea. They won't succeed, though. Not against the Legion. Yes, and he also spends most of his time in the guise of a cat, licking God's knows which body part.
Everyone knows the ugly soldiers are the
Sorry,
most
sir.
ferocious.
Ugly'll be the least of it. The beast looks rabid.
In that case, you'll have the pleasure of putting her down yourself.
I wish for you to try it, Screech. The beast speaks? So you've half a brain behind that feral maw, have you? Hey, who's that then? Come on, stand where my good eye can see you.
Easy, Tull. That's the source hunter you're talking to.
She may have the look of a woman if you squint hard enough, but she's no more than a wild animal. We got reports of a strange-looking outsider skulking through the town with her bow drawn. I found her crouched behind a tree, taking aim at a fat old rat trotting along the city walls. I tapped her on the shoulder to see what was what, and the beast startled like a wild cat and lunged right at me.
Bit Tullia right in the face, she did. It wasn't pretty, and now it's got a chunk...
Enjoy it while you can, Ver. There's not another legionnaire in the cohort that'll have you if I go rabid.
Well, that's to be decided. She doesn't seem to be sick, despite Tully's moaning. We can't keep her here forever, but we can't well send her into the wilds again, can we?
You think that's funny, Private? Sir, no, sir.
Perhaps it'd be worth taking this stranger under our wing. She'll likely come in handy if we can trust her to watch our backs.
After all, a fearless hunter might prove quite useful for...
Well, that's a relief, ain't it? We found a good home for her after all, Tull.
Those boots will embarrass a breach troll. Get to shining recruits.
Sorry, sir.
Heed me, Source Hunter. She's not good for anything more than cannon fodder. And don't turn your back on her when she's got that...
About face! To the barracks! Not! Recruits! That was sloppier than Sicilian stew. Again!
Sorry, sir.
Source Hunter. I have heard tales both grand and terrible about the world of humans. I myself was caged one moment and freed in Home Forest. Every creature acts according to the nature of its kind. Birds frighten easily, badgers fear little. But amongst men, there are no guarantees.
Oh, face! To the barracks! March! Recruits! That was sloppier than Sicilian stew. Again!
It is strange to stand with one foot in the forest and the other in the city, Source Hunter. I am glad that now I have you standing beside me. Even if perhaps in time I will come to know my own kind as you have.
Warm as dragon's breath. Potions to bemuscle you, scrolls to entussle you.
Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
Get it while it's fresh. This batch is only hours from the sea.
A good day to you. Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
Get it while it's fresh. This batch is only hours from the sea. Red and orange, yellow and green, the finest veggies Sizefield's ever seen. Toe of snake, wing of worm, brew and spice them, stir and churn.
Lay the big cheese on your block with a wheel of the good stuff.
No better solution to the zombie problem than a
Say,
silver
no one's around. You wouldn't raise a fuss if I, borrowed one of these fish, would you?
Borrow, indeed. I'll sooner meet a cat wizard than see that merchant repaid.
Come now, I'll be good for it, I swear. I never would have dreamt of resorting to petty theft during better times, but what choice have I got now? If it's steal or... Oh, my story's tired by now. I was happy enough, prosperous enough. So what do you think? Should I snag a fish?
That merchant has to eat too, you know. Leave the fish alone.
Yes, you know what they say about giving a man a fish. This man should learn to...
I suppose you've got a point. Hungry man,
Heavenly
you know.
herring, delicious dogfish, yours for a scrap gold.
They say he's privy to ancient and arcane secrets, the likes of which I doubt you could even fathom, old
Oh,
friend.
my good man. Drink, you please.
Please do.
Ah, hello. I suppose you're here to viciously interrogate me for information. It's very tragic news. I won't posture and say that the Chancellor and I were anything near allies, but I am the Duke of Ferrol. Though I suppose my name...
Back, demon! Back, or I'll... Well, what's this? Oh, Medora, you lummox. I'll tell you, it sure does me good to set eyes on another of our order. From Academy West, you wouldn't. I trained up in Academy North, after all. We don't cross paths with you Westies all that often, but it's Medora's the name. Retired, or so the Order keeps trying to tell me, but never out of commission. My hand to your cause and my sword. Heavens hornets! That's quite a story, comrade. And come to think of it, see, I'm here on, well, let's call it a loan from a town to the north of here. Hunter's Edge by name. There's been an attack there, comrade. Orcs. Not your run-of-the-mill savages either. What they want in Hunter's Edge, I can't say. But it's my responsibility to send them packing. Preferably with their horns in their suitcases. And I came south seeking the Legion's help. Only to find it tied here in Sicil. They don't have a spare soldier to send northward. And even in my finest form, I can't clear the place of that many orcs without back by the skin of my teeth, comrade. The savages were rounding up villagers when one of them activated a tripwire on our village wizard's property. Fortunately for me, that particular wizard has a penchant for things that go boom in the night. I managed to wrench free of my captor's grip and flee toward the forest. He pursued me for miles, but I'd lost him. Well, comrade, I hadn't thought of it till you tapped my shoulder just. I need a contingent I can trust if I'm to take back the town. And the way I've been scouting Sicil for some time now, and I believe I've sussed out sufficient intel to help solve the murder of the Counselor. With our minds and swords in tandem, we'll make short work of the perpetrator. More than I'd hoped, comrade. I don't know what in tarnation's gotten into the townsfolk here, but there's enough dark magic running. There's Mayor Cecil's doings for one, and the mysteries of our master Thalron for another. And on top of it all, the feline menace is lurking at every hearth and shadow.
Saffrons, I dare say.
You mean you don't already know, comrade? Their kind can see in the dark. It ain't. Now, don't get me wrong. I think the mayor's a decent sort, even if he... But from what I've heard whispered around the docks, the old guy's gotten himself mixed up in something not... I suspect an illegal sauce, artifact, or substance is at the root of it, but exactly what or who's given it to him, I can't say. And since I haven't technically been assigned to Sicil, I don't have the authority to interrogate him. Fella seems like a humble doctor, but I bet my sword he's dealing in something darker than splints and tonics. A loose-lipped fishmonger let slip that she'd seen our good doctor scale the city wall on 2 separate... Hardly the habit of an innocent healer, I'd say.
Challenging the fabled wizard of Hunter's Edge.
You say you will take me under your wing, but I see no feathers. Are you a child of the birds, as I am of the bears? And so the lonely babe was fed upon the wild mother's milk, and cast aside from humankind, he thrived among his mother's ilk. The wise godwolf Amira raised the child thrice among her litter. So you see, in truth, this is a relief. Your world is made with rules I have not yet memorized.
You baron.
I am a duke.
Come now, Alistair. I'm sure you've met your match once or twice.
I'll tell you, it sure does me Hunter's greetings. So, have you changed your mind about venturing forth? Shield to shield against the... Well, you know the old expression. 2's a tea party, 3's an invasion. I know this place like the back of my hand by now.
A fantastic plan. With 3 source hunters working in tandem, we'll put an end to all the evils bent against this fair land.
Another source hunter on the team.
That's the spirit. Listen closely now. Do you hear it? That's the sound.
Do I seem like the sort who concerns myself with such things?
You'll be concerned enough when you realize that reward money won't be lying in your pockets.
Tell me, Alistair, have you ever had the fortune of challenging the fabled wizard of Hunter's Edge? They say he's privy to ancient and arcane secrets, the likes of which I doubt you could even fathom, old friend. Surely you've met your match once or twice.
Ha! The closest I've come to my match is when I linger over long while lighting my pipe.
Oh, careful now. Your head's grown more swollen than Saffron's, I dare say.
Greetings, Source Hunter. I don't mean to hinder your investigation, but I can't open this door for anyone who... Not exactly the friendliest bloke, the captain, is he? Well, your reward for getting your ear chewed off is a waltz...
What happened? Is this a dream?
I don't think so. That stone, somehow it sent us flying into the stars.
Terrible, terrible, terrible! It will consume us all! By the quill that lasts a billion words, what's this? Two Rivalonians here? At the end of space and time? How very, very, very curious. Oh, yes, proper introductions. Zigzags the historian at your service. It is my job to record all that was, and is, and... As for how I got here, well, for a historian appointed by the gods themselves, hopping to the end of time is as easy as 1, 2, 3. How you got here, though? That on such a tiny and rapidly shrinking vestige of space and time, I wouldn't have expected to find a at last, a question I can answer most definitively. I mentioned already that this place is the end of time. If that didn't send your heart into your stomach and your pulse a-flutter, it should have. Time ought naturally to have no end at all. Indeed, I can think of no worse nightmare for a chronicler such as myself. But something totally, utterly terrible has happened. Show, don't tell, I always say. So go, peer through yonder looking lens.
I think that imp may be...
You looked. You saw. Terrifying, isn't... What's this? The portal. It's... The portal has become active. Fantastic. Astounding. Onward we should go. The portal. It's quite sprung to life, just like the long dormant flames that decorate this observatory. After all my waiting and hoping, could it be? You, dear stranger, you must be the key. Something about your presence here, those torches, a light, this portal active once more. It cannot be coincidence. Goodness me, how right you are. There's so much to take in, I'd nearly forgotten. And what you saw has been haunting my mind since I first discovered it. It is the void itself. The dragon that is devouring creation. When I speak of the end of time, this is exactly what I mean. I can't say for sure where it came from, how or why, but I do know this. It's shrinking our future by the second. And if we don't stop it, it will devour the past and present as well. It's not that I believe, it's that I have seen. Long have I been waiting here, hoping that one day this very portal would ignite. Then, no longer than a few mere moments after you arrive, zap it goes. The chronicler of time knows a pattern when he sees one. Ah, though I cannot say for certain, if it is what I believe, then our prayers might well be answered. In fact, every last question that ever plagues your noggin might well be answered, for I believe what lies beyond this portal is nothing other than... But why spoil the mystery? As soon as we leap through, we'll find out for certain. After you, after you. You first, but don't dilly-dally.
And he's off! It seems the imp has spotted exactly who and what he'd hoped to find here.
he, milady? The weaver of time? Mother of history?
Indeed, Sir Imp. As surely as you are he who chronicles all that I weave.
Astounding! Unbelievable! I have so many questions for you, so much to ask, so much to say.
You have brought guests, I see. Strange. Very strange guests.
My reaction exactly, milady. It was their arrival here at the end of time that
This is a question better put to our guests themselves. Tell us, how did you arrive upon this plane? A stone? So... it was a stone that caused the great shock of energy that brought you here, and it infused you with new life as well. Not like this, no. What happened to you is unique in never had I experienced something so contrary to my nature. To weave something I had not seen, had not expected, but yours has. You appeared before me from the moment you came into contact with that stone.
But, Madam Weaver, how is it possible? Do you not see all? Have you not woven all that is and could ever be into...
Like the stones, your guests are a mystery to me. I see them before me in this world, but their likenesses appeared not upon my tapestry until they revived the stone. Source hunters. It would seem that yourselves and Starstone are inextricably linked. Why and how, I cannot say, but I do believe that finding more stones will reveal to me who you yourselves truly are. Starstone is not what it seems, Source Hunter. Its true nature must be part of a greater secret, a secret lost even to me. Do you see what violence my work has suffered? What wounds lay upon the tapestry of time?
Mysteries of all time, gaps in history. Oh, how they've tormented me for eons.
It would appear that Starstone transforms at your touch, granting me new thread by which to mend the tapestry. Thus, it restores time itself.
I see. What the void would shrink, Starstone restores.
Yes. Though I cannot explain why this Starstone is the antidote to the void's ravishment of our realm. If we do not restore time, if we do not discover the true nature of these stones, the void will consume us all. Indeed you must, though I may not yet understand why. It seems that you and you alone can unlock the powers within Starstone. Yet we are not the only entities who know these stones to be so much more than pretty gems.
Why, of course, that's what they were doing. I have recorded their doings, you see. Collectors of Starstone, more and more by the day. Now I understand. They'd keep the stones from our reach. They'd prevent the mending of time.
Without these stones, Hunter, there will be no Rivellon. The entire tapestry will crumble. Even this plane will fall victim to the void's insatiable hunger.
That shall never be, milady. As sure as Zix comes before Zax, we will put a stop to it. First we mend the tapestry, then we stop the void. Please, our most mysterious guest, are you ready? Are you willing? Will you hunt out the stones? Will you help us restore what has been lost? So, what do you think, Source Hunter? Come, come! I've got something for you if you're up to the challenge. Come, come! I've got something for you if you're up to the challenge. So, what do you think, Source Hunter? The glint in your gaze and the set of your brow suggest to me that you know with you searching out Starstone, I believe we'll mend the tapestry in no time. We'll find out just who you are, but you'll need a way to travel between Rivellon and this homestead, won't you? Who wouldn't want to see what fantastic changes your search will yield? And who knows what the Weaver might discover about you? Luckily, the power of portals is known to you, so I'll let you in on the little secret of how to transport back. Off you go, then. You've Starstone to find, and I've a tapestry to examine. Surely there must be some clue here as to how on earth you're related to the end of time.
Cross my heart, hope to fade in the void, I honestly don't know. But ask her if she...
Like the imp said to the ballista operator, wouldn't it just? Would that I had a Starstone sightseeing guide, but alas, just like yourselves, Starstones are curiously absent from history, both in my writing. From what I can gather, though, they were once cherished by devious sorcerers whose reign ended long ago. Ruins, caves, the lairs of long-forgotten evils. Those are the dens you should frequent. 2 more pieces of advice. Neither do I, but the mere fact that activated Starstone has set the Weaver of Time weaving again more than implies that it and the Void Dragon are natural enemies. This in turn more than implies that you are the Void's natural enemy, for it is you who is setting new events in motion. You who is handing the Weaver new threads. And that which she is weaving is more than an ornament to decorate the shelter plane. It is both history and future. We may not understand the how yet, but our aim is clear. Oh, I don't know if I'm more than those things per se, but having been given a divine mission does have its perks. Old age can't touch me, that's what. But of course, I have a price to pay for something that is priceless. It is my duty to record all. So, gather those Starstones so that we may know the history that was lost. Lonesome, observing the frontier of creation, surfing the vibrant tide of the eon. Well, yes, actually. I don't mean to complain. Perhaps you can imagine the profound pleasure it is to have made the Weaver's acquaintance after all these years. I can hardly wait to pick her brain about the great battle of the Sons of Sigurd. The last Rivellonian who... Before you go, Source Hunter, a final word. Once you return to Rivellon, there will be someone... I hope he'll be able to help you as much as he can. Lady of Time, the weaver of history. I am your biggest fan, dear lady. Could I get your autograph?
It shall be my pleasure, Sir Imp. I'll embroider it in the first volume of your all-encompassing chronicles.
A question has me stumped, milady. Why are there two of us? Two beings that record all of history parallel to one another.
That is a good question, Zigzags. One without a How welcome you are upon this realm, our most honored guest. In the ethereal threads of eternity, the drift of continents through changing seas, the rise and fall of empires, the shift of every grain of... Except, it seems, ask and I shall answer, if I can. I am the weaver of time, as I have told you. I am but what I am, and that is task. It is the same for the historian. Perhaps we are one and the same. Task multiplied by 2. Who has made us? Am I the beginning? And am I to be the end? Who shall say? Perhaps I am the first thing in creation. Perhaps I am creation. Perhaps I am the creator. Or maybe it is you. Alas, the answers to those questions still elude me. A hidden answer lies behind this veil of inscrutability, though. For the link between you and I believe that starstones will not lead you to new places of wonder only. No. They will also lead to new knowledge through... Oh, Hunter. I have no need for company. Like I have no need for air or appetite or affection. All I need and all I am. And yet, I do enjoy your companionship. For you may prove to become the cure that will heal my slip. Quite so. Your absence, it should be an impossibility. I do not know you, which makes you my one perennial imperfection. But perchance I may be cured of this blindness. Perchance the blemish may be undone, and time, what it is but a seed bereft of sun and water. What it could be, that is what the starstones will tell us. I reside in another realm altogether. But ever since the end of time appeared in these deep dark skies, I materialized here, as if forced to watch the one thing that is unwatchable, unendurable. A thankless task that you may yet free me from forever. I think that perhaps you can redeem time, because you create time. Know that no longer I did weave. I sat here at the end of time and watched on as the void phrased the fabric of time. But suddenly there was you. You who stirred the life within the stones. These stones, new threads emerged, and I began to weave anew. Starstone gives me new strands to braid into the tapestry. These starstones, please, seek them so that time may yet be mended.
I am the last chest, the last chest, the last chest! If you believe yourself worthy of rifling through my ample treasures, I do dare you to prove it! Find my 4 sisters, no more than one in...
Lies at the heart of it.
What lies at its heart? Why, nothing, of course. The great absence of all humanity was forever. It eludes us, like infinity, or the finality of tick-tocking time. lies at its heart? Why, nothing, of course. The great absence of all that even the gods cannot comprehend. It eludes us, like infinity, or the finality of tick-tocking time.
To see you on this, like the imp said to the ballista operator, shoot!
How might I serve our mission? Ask, and I shall answer, if I can.
Ready to advance, ready to defend. What can I do for you, comrade?
Source Hunters, I welcome you once again to the realm of Rivellon after your travels through the chasms of space. Nice to have found a shelter, wouldn't you agree? Where you can... I know the imp historian has told you about his agent on Rivellon, and that agent is I. So now that you know of the alliance between me and Sir Zigzags, let us turn to the business at hand. Starstone. And I'll be delighted to give it. Dark webs are being woven around these parts, and it is my firm belief starstones are the flies the sorcerer spiders are trying to catch. It can therefore hardly be a coincidence that Councillor Jake was a collector of the stones we seek. His foul murder and the plight of dying time must... That means the task you have been given remains crucial. Find the assassin that did away with Jake, for you're bound to stumble upon... While you were being lectured by our friend the historian and the grande dame of town, the advantage of being a cat, you know. You go where you please with impunity. And sometimes the lady of... That's where I saw them in a cabinet. Mere slivers, but specks of starstones nonetheless. They lay there, silent and innocent. Though bloody murder may have been committed in their name. Don't we all long for a sanctuary where our worldly troubles can be held at bay? But perhaps I speak only for myself. Like any cat worth its salt, though, I deeply cherish a secret refuge unbeknownst to anyone. To be able to repose without a care is such a... Let me phrase it like Zigzags might. A universe without time is like a pen without ink. A pointless instrument stripped of the potential of creation. I'll not pretend to have all the answers, or that I understand all that is happening here and out there. If Zigzags worries, I worry. We are talking about a creature, after all, that has reclined among the divines as nonchalantly as you... I met him first, a long time ago, out in the wastes of Youthful Gore. He wondered aloud what on earth a cat was doing out there in the scorching... So I told him who I was and showed him my human form. He laughed. In the end, he even shared his great sorrow with me. The unspeakable thing you saw through his looking lens. I was awed. Oh, before you go, here. Take this teleporter pyramid. You'll need the other one too if you want to make use of its powers, but... Alas, I seem to have misplaced it. Don't worry, though. Use this one here, and it'll... Now that this matter has been settled, Hunters, I shall detain...
Unknown to all time, are you? Leave it to an imp to try to fill our minds with all manner of magical... I'll tell you who you are. Source Hunters, members of the most esteemed order in Rivellon. Here to find out and grind out every last speck of dark magic in the realm. There, the enigma is solved. What are you? You think I'm... No, Con. I just hope this fancy of yours doesn't interfere with your real job, or...
Ah, you return and humble me with your... You like nothing. Of course. All you need to do is...
Join a guild, better the world, earn a lot of gold.
And me. May all the riches in the world...
Marvelous. Magnificent. Oh, but what am I saying? Fabulous is the word. You may not realize it yet, but your fortunes, your very life is about to change for the better. So let us not dilly-dally. To business. Your first assignment is ready and waiting if you're ready and willing. Oh, it's a pretty straightforward task, this one. Now, in this town dwells a wizard. Ahu is his name, and he's a frightful eccentric. Scientific type, you know the kind. Favors reason over faith and all that. Not one of them was a big lumbering apparatus. A frightful automaton shaped like a giant, but you can guess what happened. Did it become sentient? Was it cursed? Whatever the cause, the thing relieved itself of its pilot and headed north towards a network of caves. Now ask yourself, luckily there are those in this world who belong to the Fabulous Five. The braves who eat such monstrosities for breakfast. Go, my friend. Find this wizard's abomination.
Watch out. I smell... This time. More junk.
Looking good. I guess someone else got here first.
Let's see. Halibut, sheep's cheese, tomatoes.
Join the Spud Club if you've got an eye.
Careful, comrade. I've seen sorcerers and fools even lowly foul dark enchantments.
Nonsense, venerable one. Those are only juicy ones at that.
Legion's greetings. I have been informed about your heroics on the beach. Were that I had been there to partake in the battle. But my duties lie here. Sworn as I am to protect Lady Esmeralda from the... I am Septimus, 7th son in a household of 9, legionnaires all. Me and 2 brothers of mine were assigned to Sicile from day 1. Alas, both of them have long since fallen in battle against the dead. So fair a lady I have seldom seen in all of Rivellon, my friend. And I have traveled more extensively than migratory birds do. She stands accused of murder. But in my mind, her presumed guilt is a fallacy. Steadfast will I guard her. Never will I waver unless absolute proof of her culpability should be brought before me. Jake's murder is, in a word, a tragedy. He was well loved in all of Sicile. The Council of 7 couldn't have wished for a better ambassador. That he of all people should have braved the undead siege for so long, only to be felled by fowls. And what questions are those? Tragedy flocks to this place, like goblins to a boar carcass. None of us guessed, when we were assigned to Sicile, that we were about to embark on a years-long... Proper soldiers shouldn't be ordered to fight such unnatural abominations. We used to cut them limb from limb by the dozen. Only...
Lords above, grant me patience. You're a source hunter, aren't you? Here because you think I killed my husband. I am Esmeralda, wife of Jake, and now, alas, his widow. Poor man. We were both so young when we married. He so rich and I so poor. But his one and only, like I told just about every legionnaire in town, I don't know anything about poor Jake's murder. I want his killer found and tried, but everyone suspects me of this evil deed. And you're no different, are you? So what happened? Some of them tittle-tattling crab chasers down the pub call me a murderous gold digger and you believe them? These insinuations truly go beyond the pale. Starstone? I've never heard of such a thing. Dear Jake had a mineral collection, yes. Do you mean to imply he collected something dangerous? Something that may have gotten him into trouble? Oh, this is all too much. Well, what do you want to know? Since the beginning, this has been a particularly favored region of Rivellon. Even before there was a major settlement here, these cliffs were a special holy site for the ancient pagans. Praise be that Arhu the wizard has the wits about him to build these newfangled weapons of his, or Sicile would have been the very throne of decay by now. Because of him, life here is almost bearable again, despite the walking dead. Though it's rather eerie and perplexing at the same time to think about how quickly...
Adamant about her innocence.
We'll need to look for evidence if we want to prove she actually did the evil deed.
The hunter returns! I hope you are here to shop rather than sleuth. Listen, if you're going to accuse me of something, you would better find the evidence to back up your ridiculous claims. So tell me, Septimus, would your wife or sweetheart be compensated by the Legion should tragedy befall you on the battlefield?
Sorry, sir.
Good to have you back, Source Hunter. A sight for sore eyes indeed.
Source Hunter, welcome, welcome. And what might those be? Those who are raising the dead dwell among us. They simply must be. But even though I've spent many a night leaping from tree to rooftop, watching on as citizen, the enemy is wily. They know a mere trifle for one with the intellect of a feline and the engineering skills of a human. You basically construct a classic ballista. You have a flair for understatements, Hunter. I'm sure they are but a minor nuisance in the eyes of a born warrior, until they conclude what mischief they intend to see through, or, less likely,
Ah, the Source Hunter. Yes. Discovered any... Have you found any incriminating evidence against her? If so, let's have it. Oh, if you must. How am I enjoying it? Are you...
Legion's greetings, Hunter. So fair a lady I have seldom seen in all of Riverland. Steadfast...
We've secured the perimeter.
Need for his very existence.
found something.
The earth here seems to have been freshly fertilized and aerated. Obviously, someone has taken great...
No, that would be an insult to the dead.
And a disgrace to whomever is maintaining this...
You step away.
But if one were to reduce the quantity of... Oh, a source hunter. Imagine that. Quite a bit more petite than the last of your kind I encountered. But, no matter. Even if it couldn't spare its heartiest specimen, I'm sure the... Me? Why, it was I who cured the Duchess of Arata of her unslakable thirst. A simple pinch of Atropa belladonna in her morning tea. I who discovered that it... Not to mention that it's been my guidance that has permitted my apprentice Evelyn to make quite a name for herself around Sicile of late. Well, she certainly possesses a critical eye and an exacting manner. I expect she'll be a very successful healer in her own right when the time comes. She is learning from the best, after all. Yes. If that's how... She's in the other room as we speak. Perhaps you can prevail upon her to offer a demonstration. She's gotten hold of a stone, supposedly capable of fantastic feats. She claims to have gotten the relic from a little northern town, Silverglen by name. Utter rubbish, I say. But with these blasted undead haunting the travel routes, I can hardly...
Healing stone. Interesting indeed.
Nothing sets me on edge like inexplicable magic.
That relic of Evelyn's, the so-called healing crystal. I've seen one like it before, and by the Patriarch's pockets. One look at that gem will be enough to convince me it's no force of good, but a bloodstone through and through. I've come across such a stone before. It may be capable of healing, as the good doctor describes, but its old bloodstone is so named for a reason, you see. What starts as a pretty gem, if that stone is what I suspect, I wouldn't trust Sicile's so-called healers any more than I'd trust a pyromancer.
Anybody? Neither of you cares to plead for his very existence. Anybody? Neither of you cares to plead for his very existence. Excuse me? This is a private sick room. Who in the name of the Sevens you think you are barging in? Oh, I'm sorry. It's this task. I'm just... Who am I to meddle with life and death? I'm an apprentice of the healing arts. Healing. But this decision feels like precisely the opposite. I have but one healing stone, you see. I've been racking my brain trying to decide on the best method to settle this grave situation. But perhaps it's better off in the hand. What would you like to know? One of the brave few willing to traverse the trade routes plagued by the undead. A young man, but excellent in matters of business, before he fell victim to an orc. Thankfully for him, a cattle trader found him, nearly dead, but not quite so. Quite the venerable staple of Sicile, Stephen, and recently blessed with his third grandchild. He was leading a crew of builders when a stray beam struck him in the temple. Nearly everyone in Sicile is from... Yes, a curious relic indeed. I got it from a kindly abbot, Loic by name, in the northern town of I myself was nothing if not skeptical of his claims, but something happened as he handed me the stone. But it's strange. The stone is only good for a single use at a time before it reverts to a useless, inert state. It takes time to regain its magical properties, and I guard it cautiously. You are? Ah, I thank you a million times.
Tone. Soothing.
Boris's life has just begun. We can't cut it short now. He should receive the stone.
Yes, Boris deserves. Boris it is? Yes, I'll deliver the stone. I'm glad we'll...
Thank
No,
the seven.
no, this is highly abnormal. What is this? This lightning?
I feel no pleasure in bidding you farewell, friend. I feel no pleasure in bidding you farewell, friend.
Thank you eternally for your help. Though your reaction to the healing stone, that strange reaction you caused, blue lightning from a healing stone, I've never seen anything like it. And the stone looks different now, too.
Tone. Soothing a corpse's troubled mind. Can't have gone. What do I owe the repeated pleasure, Source Hunter?
Grateful.
Paw of snake, wing of worm. Watch the undead quiver in their mouldy boots.
Pay the big cheese on your block with the wheel of the good stuff. Pay the big cheese on your block with the wheel of the good stuff.
Source Hunter's here too? Well, if the Legion couldn't... Greetings! These stores are for our Legion troops. Rivellon's finest were...
Don't let that rooster escape! He's already on the...
A chicken?
Greetings! These stores are for our Legion troops.
Pardon him?
Look at that.
Greetings! These stalls are for our Legion troops. Rivellon's finest work up mighty fine appetite serving the seven.
If this chef makes something especially tasty, maybe he'll give us a nibble for helping him out.
Greetings! These stalls are for our Legion troops. Rivellon's finest work up mighty fine appetite serving the seven.
Well, do as I say.
Why did you let my chicken out?
That was sloppier than Sicilian stew. Again! Go.
So, what's the bad news? More orcs rampaging through the docks? Or have those infernal statues sent a nut? This here's my family business. Yes, there's been a Roberts escorting stiffs into the next life since the foundation of Sice. Sad story, that. Though if I'm speaking plainly, the sentimental aspect of it all doesn't make much of an impression on an undertaker. Especially not these days. I just concern myself with giving the remains a respectable exit from life. We set him to rest in the northern graveyard. Perhaps he can finally get a little peace. What about it? Didn't I just say we gave it a respectable send-off? Why are you giving me the third degree? Now, if you don't mind,
The death man is nervous as a squirrel. I'm certain he's hiding something.
She said it, not me.
What do you think you're doing?
Looks like that dog is awfully agitated.
Perhaps he wants to tell us something.
So many dead civilians.
Peace be with you, traveler. May your loss... I once lived a prosperous life. With my husband and our happy little daughter, Lonnie never recovered from the loss. And when a group of mercenaries, predators, more aptly called, came to town dangling the opportunity to annihilate, she was killed less than a week after she joined. Here she lies, and here I stand.
In memory of Lonnie, death lies on her, like
Rest
an
in
untimely
peace,
frost,
darling.
upon the sweetest flower of all the... Here lies Jake. Please do not disturb.
trickery is this? That's not Jake.
It's a rotting sheep's corpse. It seems someone snatched Jake's body.
Rest in peace, darling.
Here lies Kavanagh. Will they have Sisal pie in the afterlife?
What trickery is this? That's not Jake.
It's a rotting sheep's corpse. It seems someone snatched Jake's body.
Dear me. How the coast reminds me of my long... The world's... Dear me. How the coast reminds me of my long fled youth. I sailed the sea. I walked the worlds.
So, what's the bad news? More orcs rampaging through the dock? A sheep? That's a whole heap of nonsense. Don't bother me with such wild tales. What's to find out? You can hunt all you like, but enough of that bloody business. If you're just... That's what you get for... So, what's the bad news? A sheep? That's a whole... So, what's the bad news?
A sheep?
I suppose you're right. At least if I tell you myself, you'll hear the proper account of things. I buried that blasted sheep, but I swear on my lucky left foot I had nothing to do with that body disappearing. 1 minute it was on my slab, you see. I left the room for just a moment to answer the bell in the front parlor. In its place was a sack containing more gold coins than I could even count. The message was, my business has been declining right alongside the rest of our blighted city. And that sack of gold was worth more than I made during one of the good years. I needed cash, and I knew I had to bury something or risk being found out. So that night, I stole into the market and made off with Bertia's fattest sheep. It was a bloody waste to stick so much fine meat into the ground to rot, but it had to be done. The next day, the pallbearers retrieved Jake's coffin, sealed to hide the body's terrible wounds, none the wiser that within the casket lay nothing more venerable. Now, you can imagine I've spent more than my share of restless nights, wondering who could have wanted that cadaver and for what purpose. I'm not an inch closer to imagining the why, but I've got a few inklings as to the who. Near as I can reckon, there are only 4 people who could have been involved. Mayor Cecil, Captain Aureus, Theleron's apprentice Evelyn, and Esmeralda. Plenty of us shopkeepers entrust the mayor with the spare keys to our businesses, you know. And he's the only person in town with a second copy of the key to the mortuary. He could have used it to sidle in without a peep, if he were so inclined. Aureus himself paid me a visit the night the body was delivered. Came rapping at my door in the frosty morning, before the sun had even started peeping, and told me to tell him, and only him, if I can't see why he'd bothered to go through all that trouble. I know it sounds strange suspecting the doctor's apprentice of something so ghoulish as this, but there's few in this city could manage to transport a corpse without raising eyebrows. It was she who delivered Jake's body from the inn to the mortuary, and there was something about her that night. Seemed she could barely contain her thoughts, that there was something thrilling about to happen. I can't quite settle it in my mind how a young medical professional would have such a strange reaction, and this may or may not have anything to do with the whole rigmarole. But her master, Dr. Theleron, bought an old shack of mine, one overtaken by undead, for an exorbitant price considering what he was getting. I never saw a widow less distraught at the death of her husband. It was she who rang my bell just before the body was snatched. Lured me outside, claiming that gold's the only good thing to come out of this blasted affair. And I certainly plan on making some use of it. Pillar of the community? Ha!
That's what you get for trying.
The sun is out. Yet, I feel cold inside my soul. The bane of age. The crux of years.
That troop of eager imbeciles will
A source hunter will always receive a warm welcome at the town.
What? Oh, it's you. Come closer then. Closer? My ears aren't what they used to be. Nor my eyes, for that matter. Yes, hello, Source Hunter. Oh, yes, the Fabulous Five. Aren't they simply fantastic? That machine Ahu built isn't... Jake? Murdered, you say? Oh, yes. Yes, of course. Now I remember. Well, I'm sure the facts will prove me innocent. Keep investigating. That depends. What kind of berries are you? Ah, the library. Yes, yes, you must have a visit. It's the gem. Marvelous. What? Oh, yes. This library, my Victoria has every volume you could possibly imagine. And she's got... Yes. Victoria's come a long way from that little bundle of... What? Oh, yes, yes. I'll be...
Hasn't she?
Omnes autem mali demonis. What? What is this? Who are you to interrupt my musings? Oh, but perhaps I spoke too soon. Perhaps no. A source hunter, that is what you are. Yes, a stalker of sorcery, a chaser of charms pernicious. I would tell you my reasons, but it's...
Propensity for all things naughty, hasn't she?
Demonology for dumbbells. Ugh. I need something more advanced. Is there no new book to be discovered in this library?
The knight in see-through armor, Princess Buttercup with the blushing bottom, Stenteken. Esmeralda does have a propensity for all
this
things
isn't the
naughty,
grimoire
hasn't
I'm
she?
looking for. Is there no new book to be discovered in...
Pay the big cheese on your block with a whale of the good stuff.
To what do I owe the repeated pleasure, Source Hunter? Well, she certainly possesses a critical eye and an... I expect you'll be a very successful... The world belongs to the young, they say, and Boris will live to take his piece.
Hello again. Terribly sorry, Source Hunter. Is that so? Well, I handled the corpse myself, indeed, but I hardly knew the man in life. I was shocked when Ahu asked me to come to the crime scene, but Theliron had taken ill, and the responsibility fell to me. I arrived at the inn, where the body lay just where it had fallen. The injuries were like nothing I'd ever seen. A single intricate laceration wove like lace around every inch of his skin. Neither a beginning nor an ending point were discernible. I examined the corpse and recorded. I personally delivered the corpse the short distance to the mortician's house. As far as I know, everything was, as far as a magical murder is concerned, quite normal.
No, I know it's here somewhere.
These damn birds won't fetch more than a pittance.